I'm going to start with, it takes a ton of time to get good at PA tuning because, first of all, to get your hands on a ton of PAs and stuff like that, that takes a long time. And I had an awesome person who helped me learn how to do stuff. His name was Clint All. And he not only showed me how to use Smaart the first time, but he was the PM at Bethel for a long time. And so we went on tour, and we would go on tour, and he'd always make sure we had like different speakers, different consoles, different like stuff that we had to learn on. And it was kind of lame sometimes, but I'm so happy that I've got to experience so many systems, learn how they react, and how you can tell, after hitting several shows and several venues, you realize, this is the sound of the speaker, this is the sound of the venue, and you start separating those things in your mind to where you can tell what's happening instead of, if you only have one experience with one sound system in one venue, you're never going to be able to tell exactly what you're listening for and what is causing what. So, just to let you guys know, it does take a really long time. So just if you're not getting it or it's not feeling right and you don't nail things right away, don't feel bad. It's hard. It's really, really hard. And the more you know, the better you get at it, and the more knowledge base you build within yourself from rooms and systems and processors and everything that goes with it, the better you'll get at it and the more sense it'll start making. So, with that started, let's start with system processors. So, there's a lot of different system processors out there. My very favorite one is the one I have up on the screen here. This is the Meyer Galaxy. And the Galaxy is, I think, the easiest to use. It has the most tools right at your fingertips. You don't have to set up crazy DSP blocks. You don't have to build any stuff out. It's just all there, ready to go, everything you need. And I think it's really intuitive, really easy to use. I've used a lot of different system processors. I've been on the Lakes. I've been on all the DMB stuff. I've been on all the L-Acoustic stuff, DBX, Ashley. Pretty much you name it, I've probably used it. And even like London, that one's hilarious to me. But, a lot of these are free-floating DSP systems where you essentially have to build out what you want and patch it in one way or another. And to me, I'm like, this is a system processor, and it literally has one function, like to make the system sound good. Now, if you're talking like things like London or any of those like super free-floating systems, those are great for like grocery stores, stuff like that, where you want to set up duckers and paging systems and things like that. But I'm not really talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about purely making sound systems sound good in large venues. So that's probably, if you're looking to get into any of that kind of stuff, there's a bunch of other like sick classes happening right now. But I won't be going over anything like that. So anyways, I love this processor. It's my favorite one. My second favorite setup is probably the D&B one, which all that DSP is built in to the amps, and it's really cool. I'm not really going to show that because I don't have any D&B equipment here. But this is Meyer's along with our Meyer PA. So in this venue, we had some Meyer line array right there. And then we have the 1100 LFCs. And then I have Lena outfills right there. And then we have Lena front fills on the floor. And then under the stage, we have some 900 LFCs. Those are all Meyer speakers. These ones are single 18s. I think they're actually probably Meyer's best sounding sub is the one that's under here. Unfortunately, there's a big piece of concrete in front of them, so they don't quite perform the way they should, but they still sound real good. If you get up in the front here, it really fills in the low end really nicely. So, but I really like Meyer stuff. It's really easy to tune. We had them on as friends, our friends here. And I work on a lot of Meyer systems as well. And I think they're really, honestly, like pretty easy to use. But, if you have a system at wherever your venue is, like let's say like a DBX drive rack or something like that, I gotta say, like, your chances of being able to tune the system well are next to none. And I'm not trying to like diss anybody's gear or anything like that, but it's just really the truth. Like, you just simply don't have the tools that it takes to make a system actually function properly. So I would say on any system, any kind of speaker, you put a Galaxy in front of it, and you're gonna have an easier, better sounding system, like easy to tune, easy to route. I think it's always the way to go myself. Even when we take out DMB stuff, I throw a Galaxy processor in front of it. And I know a lot of other guys that do that too. So I'm not the only like system tech kind of person that will do that. But I think it's a good practice because it's hard to beat it once you know how to use it. And it's really very easy. If you don't know how to use Smaart, this isn't really a Smaart class. I'm not really going to teach how to use Smaart. There's Smaart certifications and stuff like that. I'll talk a little bit about some of the main tools that we use and how you need to use them. So let's just quickly go over some of this function here. This is your RTA setting. And what we're seeing right now, I'm actually pumping pink into my system at the moment. We've got these two mics, are the pink and the green. And then we have the pink that I'm sending in is the blue one in the back. I think that color's pink. It might be red. I'm so terribly sorry. I can't see it, but I'm guessing. And we're gonna move these mics around and get different measurements. But before we can do that, I've set up my little system right here. And what I have for my little portable tuning rig is I've got this little, you guys can't really see it, it's turned backwards, but I've got a Scarlett, whatever that number is. It has 8 and an I and some other numbers on it. It's a Focusrite. I don't know why I don't know the model number. I guess it's because I don't care that much. But I have this Focusrite here, and it sounds fine. It's like a fine interface. You know, you don't want to use a really low quality interface because we're doing speaker measurement. So you want it to be fairly accurate. And then I have my Electrosonics wireless transmitter and receiver, which is really great because it's really high power. I can almost overpower any signal I come across, so I rarely have to change what channel I'm running because it's a lot of power, and it's a really strong connection. So it generally overpowers anything that's in its way, and I don't get a lot of interference or anything like that. It seems to be very consistently clean. Traveling around the country working on PAs, it's just like, it's worked everywhere. So I highly recommend Electrosonics wireless stuff for any kind of super high quality thing or any kind of film or field recording. I really think it's like kind of the best out there. So, and then what I'm doing is I'm sending an output. I have an output going to the PA for my pink that's running back through the console. And then I actually patched my reference output back into itself because I'm too far away from the console to patch it through the console and back into it. But it just has to have something to measure against. Because if you don't have that, you can't do any of the things I'm about to show you. So there has to be a reference signal and there has to be microphone signals. And that's basically what we would do to set up a transfer function. How many of you guys know what transfer function is already?